Rice Auditorium over a span of 3 seasons. That streak was in serious jeopardy tonight as 5th-ranked South Dakota State hopped over to play the 22-ranked Cats. Channel 4's Anthony Flores was in Wayne, and he has the highlights to prove it.
Brad, tonight's matchup figured to be the game of the night in Division II basketball, and neither team disappointed. The Cats, though, did get off to a slow start. They trailed by 9, 21-11 in the first half. Then they would settle down and go on a 9-0 run, tying the game at 20. Chad Nelson rebounds the missed free throw and scores. He finished with 5 points. The game would stay tight. Brad Jones ties it at 37 with the jumper. He finished with 14 for the Wildcats. Jason Diaz added 12 for Wayne State. This three cut SDSU's lead down to a point, but the Jackrabbits would go into the locker room at halftime with a 45-40 lead. Casey Walker gets the basket. He had 12 points in the game. In the second half, the Cats would go on a 19-5 run. Tyler Johnson with 2 of his game-high 18 points and the foul. Wayne State was cruising and had a lead, but SDSU would pull out a nail-biter, 80-79. Matt Wallace led the Jacks with 17 points, snapping the Wildcats' 25-game home winning streak by a point, 80-79. And Brad, the Wildcats really had this game in hand. They had a 1-point lead with 5 seconds left on the clock. They were inbounding the ball. They couldn't get it in. A Jackrabbit threw the ball up off the floor, went in, and that's the game. And really a disappointing finish for the Wildcats, who really played a good game tonight out in Wayne.
Anthony, looked like a big crowd over there. Did everyone show up like they should have tonight for this big one?
Started out slow, but toward the end, I think Rice Auditorium started to fill out, and the people who were there saw a great basketball game tonight.
All right, that's for sure. Thanks a lot, Anthony. Now,
number 6 Northern State comes into Rice Auditorium to meet the Cats. Jason Diaz right here steps up off the dribble, hits the jumper. Diaz had 13 tonight. Sophomore John Dolliver providing just a bit more thunderous offense. The dunk, and Dolliver one of 4 players in double figures for Wayne State. Northern State, though, was the offensive unit coming in, averaging 91 points a game. Dan Fisher scores here, but Wayne State's defense held the visitors to just 75 points tonight, and that would be enough to get the win. It's Dolliver down low again, 88-75. Wayne State, oh so tough at home tonight, knocking off 6th-ranked Northern State on Coach Greg McDermott's 100th game at Wayne State. Other scores tonight in basketball, Unity.
Respect around the country. They could do a world of good for themselves tonight against 6th-ranked Northern State of South Dakota. And the Brady Bunch left over, making a clean sweep out at Wayne. First half, Northern State up for most of the first 20 minutes. Mark Rich with the baseline move here, putting the Wolves up by 2, but the Cats tied up and then go ahead here on John Dolliver's 2-hand jam. He would finish tonight with 14 points. The Wolves get the lead back before the half, 36-34, but Chad Nelson steals it back for the Cats with this last-second 3-pointer. Second half now, Wayne State picks up where they left off. Craig Phillip going inside the 3-point stripe for 2 of his 20 on the night. And then Phillip steps outside the stripe to get 3 more. And Wayne State goes on a 12-2 run, and they down the 6th-ranked team in the country tonight. 88-75 is that final from Rice Auditorium. 3 more from the corner. Other men's basketball scores. Iowa
1 transfers on his roster. Tomorrow night when the Chargers play at Wayne State, Beard will have just 1. Beard confirmed today that 6'9" senior forward Kevin Ward has left school for what he called personal reasons. According to Beard, Ward, who's an Alabama native, decided to be with his family just over the past couple of days. In 23 games this year, Ward, who played last year at George Mason University, had averaged 12 points and 6 rebounds per game. And at a time when that might be bad news on the court, the Chargers get some great news off the court as the latest NAIA Division II rankings have the cliff climbing up. BC is 19th, as you can see there. The Chargers 14-10, and in a good position to host postseason tournament play should they get in, and at this point they would. Bethel of Indiana still leads Division II. The Red Raiders Northwestern off a couple. They're now 12th. Grandview from Des Moines 15th, and is again Bar Cliff a 19th this week. The women a boost as well. Mike Powers' girls are now 2nd in the country, 4th a week ago. The Charger women with 4 first-place votes. That glossy 19-3 record. Southern Oregon, the only team better than the Chargers, according to the pollsters. Some others to keep track of and names you may see coming up at the Women's National Tournament in March here in Sioux City. South Dakota Tech, Doane, Grandview, and Northwestern all in the top 25 as of today. Well, with 8 regular season games to play, Wayne State College is still harboring postseason hopes of their own. Tomorrow night when the Cliff goes traveling, they'll get a chance to crimp those plans. The Wildcats 14-5 now. 2 weeks ago, Wayne State did beat Briarcliff by 10 here in Sioux City. Free throws were key in that game, but a bigger part in just about every game this year has been defense.
We're consistently playing at least 9, sometimes 11 guys. We held teams to 68 points a game, and the field goal percentage is down around 42% for our opponents. And anytime you do that, you got a chance to win. You know, we've gone on the road and won games where we've shot only 40%, and if you can play defense, it always gives you a chance.
Wayne State currently 8th in the Division II regional rankings. The top 6 at the end of the season make the postseason. The Cats will play 5 of their last 8 at home, currently on a 4-game winning streak. That is good news. Well, teams with a stranglehold on the Sioux Interstate. Well, Coach Beard apparently rallied the troops tonight as they took on Wayne State on the road. DJ Dunbar with the early hoop. He had 23 to lead Briarcliff tonight. At home, though, Craig Phillip, the lone senior on the Wildcat team, you knew they would be scrappy. It was still a 10-point game. The dunk by Eric Henderson. But at home, and despite the Catbackers, Briarcliff was the better team tonight, holding off Wayne State. Jeremy Allen gets the hoop here. Briarcliff clings to the 3-point win on the road. 67-64 the final. The Cliff now 15-10. Wayne State, with a rare home court loss, drops to 14-6. The Briarcliff women also successful tonight on the
Eric's got an exciting day tomorrow. His official practices for the Wildcat basketball team starts tomorrow, so I know you're very excited about that. Practices start at 4:30, is that right? Yep. 4:30 practices start, and then tomorrow at 7 o'clock we'll have the women's and men's scrimmages. The first practice open to the public at 7 o'clock tomorrow, and then the slam dunk contest. Tell us, are you excited? Are you going to be dunking again this year?
Yeah, I suppose I better get in that.
Okay.
Along with a couple of the teammates.
Who else will be dunking tomorrow? I'm sure Tyler will be here to defend his crown one more time. Are any of you guys going to knock him off, or are you just going to let him take over as he always does? What's up with that?
Somebody better knock him off.
Okay. Who's your big leapers this year? You and Scott Hansen did well last year. He kind of came on the scene, and then Tyler, of course. Talk to me. Who else is going to be jumping tomorrow?
Oh, I'd say probably Matt Van Voorst and maybe Brian Hoffman if he's feeling better.
Okay.
I'd say them have the best shot at her.
Okay. You have any special dunks that you got hidden in the closet yet, or?
I might pull something out of my sleeve.
We'll see how that goes. This season's going to be exciting. Last year you had the bitter end. Talk to me. This is your last independent year. Are you excited? Were you happy about the news that you'll be joining the conference next year for your senior year?
Yeah, actually we're real excited about the conference. It will give us an opportunity to compete in maybe some conference tournaments and get some more recognition to some of the players that deserve it. But it's going to be fun. Our last year as an independent too, we want to go out with a bang. Hopefully, maybe make the tournament again this year, or hopefully make the tournament this year.
Okay, your biggest loss from last year is Craig Phillip, obviously a very key loss. He was a great senior. He was a backbone of the program. He was the main key that helped rebuild this program in such a short time. Talk to me about Phil and how you're going to miss him, and who's going to step up and take his place. Is it going to be is there one person that you think can do it, or is it going to be a little bit of everyone? Can you talk to me about that?
Well, I'd say it's going to be a core of players stepping up for Phil. Craig was a real good player for us. He scored a lot of points and did a lot of the dirty work down low too. So I think from maybe practices early in the season, I'd say Brad Jones looks like he improved quite a bit this season. So maybe he'll take up some of Craig's scoring, and maybe Jason Diaz will play a bigger part this year too.
Okay, and as we're talking about people that we're missing, everyone on campus misses Troy Osterhaus. He's a good player and a great person. We all miss his personality around. He transferred, what school? Is it Washburn?
Wartburg College.
Wartburg College in Iowa. He transferred for some personal reasons, for basketball, but as well, his brother was sick with cancer. How is Troy doing? I know you're friends. Have you talked to him lately?
Yeah, me and Troy went to the same high school together. We grew up together. And actually, I talked to him about once a week. Yeah, email him quite a bit, and he's doing real good. And his brother looks like he's doing pretty well too. So things are going good for Troy. We like to hear that.
That's great to hear. Everyone really liked Troy when he was here, and we wish him the best. So it's good that things are going well with Troy. That's last year. Let's talk about this year. You have some new players that you have several returning starters. Can you talk to me about, first let's talk about some of the new players. Who are some of your redshirt players last year that you've gotten to see for a year, and then they'll be picking up and playing this year, hopefully a little bit. Can you talk to me about some of your redshirt class?
Yeah, last year, two players that come to mind that redshirt last year are Scott Hansen and Kevin Lingenfelter, and I think both of them, they're real good players, and I think they'll make an impact this year for us, get some minutes for us, and contribute.
Okay, is Lingenfelter, is he playing a 2 spot? What position is he going to be playing?
Yeah, Kevin's going to play the 2 spot for us, mostly anyway. He's a real good shooter, can stroke it.
Kevin's definitely grown up. It doesn't seem long ago at all, but I guess it's 3 years ago when I saw him at a summer all-star camp, and he just took over down in Northeast College. He just went on fire, and then I realized he was coming to Wayne, so I was pretty pumped about that. So it's good to see that Kevin will be playing, and then also with Scott Hoffman. Scott's a big man. I suppose a big man, if anything, you've been putting in a lot of hours and you do well. And then we have several key players with Van Voorst and Hertz, and several players have been able to pick it up a little bit and put some playing time. There's going to be a bigger emphasis on big men, I suppose. Can you talk to me how are some of those guys that I mentioned that had limited playing time last year, did well when they're in? How are they doing this year?
Oh, they've made some huge improvements from last year. I'd say Jason Herlitzky and Matt Van Voorst are going to get a lot more minutes this year, and we need to spread out the offense a little bit more and maybe get little more balanced. And I feel that Jason and Matt can do that for us. They can be a force down low. So, and we got to get Craig's minutes filled too. So somebody's got to get them, and I'm sure they're going to get some of them for the big man.
You mentioned Jason. Jason kind of slides through the cracks a little bit. He's so good. He'll put up so many points, but he'll do it fairly quietly. And then you'll look at the box scores at the end, and he'll have put up like 15 points. And you go, where do they all come from? Jason's been doing a great job. I don't really know Jason real well. Can you talk to me about him, his work ethic, and talk to me about his player? Because he just does really well for you guys.
Yeah, Jason Diaz. He's a real good shooter for us, and he won some big games for us last year, and he can really light it up. He works real hard. He's a good leader for us this year, and he's been doing real well this early in the season during fall workouts, and we expect a lot of big things from him this year.
Okay, you talked about leadership. Who do you look at as some of the leaders on the team? Obviously, Tyler's a big. He gets things ignited. You work real hard in the paint. And who are some of your leaders on your team that you look to?
Well, I guess I'd say that along with myself, Tyler and Jason are probably going to be our big leaders this year not only because they're seniors, but like you said, Tyler can really light up the crowd and he can get real exciting, and Jason can hit the big three when we need one, and I'd say Brad Jones, same way. He could hit the three if he just steps up and be real confident.
Okay, talk to me. Who are some of your toughest opponents going to be this year? I know you have as always, you have a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Who preseason-wise are you looking to be your biggest opponents?
We're going to have a lot of exciting games right away. I'd say before Christmas we have the tournament up here, that Quad State Classics. We play South Dakota and Morningside. That should be some huge games for us, and we need to hope to have a big crowd for it and get pumped up. And then before that actually, we head up to Brookings, South Dakota, and play South Dakota State, which will be a good game for us. They'll be pumped and ready to play us. So I'd say them are some of our tough games right away. And then again, Northern State's going to be a great team again this year. So I'd say them are some of the toughest games, but we don't really have anybody weak on our schedule this year. We got some tough games.
Okay. You mentioned the Quad State Classic. This is kind of brand new in my area. I think they used to do it as well. But the Quad State Classic is going to be USD, is it Morningside, Briarcliff, who's all involved in this? It's a very big event. It's going to be switching sites. It does stop at Wayne State. Can you tell me more about the Quad State Classic?
Yeah, this year it's being held at Wayne State, so it's Wayne State, holy cow, Morningside, South Dakota, and Minnesota Morris this year. So, and we play we don't play Minnesota Morris, but we do later in the year, but that's not in the Quad State Classics. We play Morningside and South Dakota, and South Dakota looks to be one of the top teams in the region this year, so that should be real exciting to play them on our home court. And
speaking of home court, when it comes to that Quad State Classic later on, is it next month, right, around the 19th?
Yeah.
It's in that area.
20th or something.
Yeah, when it comes to the Quad State Classic, you have to be aware there's several people from several area schools, so you guys have to show up early if you want to get the best seats, because we cannot give up our close seats to the court to all these foreigners coming in. So you got to show up early. Keep that in mind. Have that date marked on your calendar. Show everyone that you're ready to play. Speaking of crowd attendance, you've been having a full house the last couple of years because you guys have been playing well. and everyone enjoys watching you. I think a small part of this as well is the fact that the basketball team, it seems, makes a strong point. I don't know if it's just because you love sports or because of the blatant attempt to make to show your support to other sporting teams on campus, but you guys are everywhere. The football team's struggling, but you're at every game. Soccer team, you're there supporting them in their second year of existence. Last year, you were there. Is that something that you guys kind of do as a kind of set out to do? Talk to me about that a little bit.
Well, not only do we love sports, but a lot of these players on players on the other teams are a lot of our friends, and we hang out with them and stuff, and we like to go support them because we know that when it's our turn to be out and performing, they're going to be there for us too. So we just kind of feel give a little, take a little, you know.
Exactly, and I'm sure it's appreciated by everyone on campus, and I'm sure you appreciate the big crowds. Talk to me. Do you enjoy playing in front of the big crowds? Because there's been some times when it's standing room only down there in Rice, and that's really exciting to see.
Oh yeah, it gets you pumped up and gets you going. Especially that South Dakota State game last year when it was standing room only. We like that. Too bad we couldn't pull her off, though.
Exactly. that was a thriller. Hopefully, I will never see one of those ugly shots again. It just fell the wrong way. Yeah. Talk to me about the conference. Who do you feel are going to be some of the strongest teams in the conference once that gets going for your senior year? I know that's a year away. Don't want to look ahead, but it's big news. Can you talk to me about the conference?
Yeah, like I said earlier, the recognition for some of our better players and being in a conference tournament, I think will be real beneficial for us and be a great experience. And some of the top teams probably will be Northern State again. Winona State's going to have a good team. Southwest State and Bemidji's probably going to be up there too. So there's going to be a lot of tough games for us.
We talked about some of those close losses. Do you have a revenge factor? What's your attitude going into the season? Because the season was very sour at the end, even though you guys did so well, and it's just such a shame. You still have a bitter taste in your mouth? Does it disappear, or does it just stay in there? Talk to me about that.
Oh, it don't disappear. We're still going to be bitter, but we feel we can go into every game, and we're not going to be beat. We don't think we're going to be beat. We think we can go into every game and win. So I think going into every game like that with a positive attitude is going to help you out, and hopefully we'll get a win.
Talk to me about Coach Mack. Coach Mack is very, very respected on campus. I know you guys have nothing but respect for him. And the fans like him, you guys like him, and he's accomplished so much. And he hasn't been here for too long, about 4 or 6 years. I'm kind of guessing right there. I know he hasn't been here long. Talk to me about Coach Mack.
Yeah, I think Coach Mack's been here for about 4 years, I think. Yeah, he's one heck of a guy. I mean, he's just, I don't know, he does everything right, it seems, to his team, for his players, and he'll help you out any way he can. It just ain't on the basketball court either. I know, like, when I had some troubles or something, I could always go to Coach Mack for it, or I know a lot of my teammates can go to him too, and it seems like every decision he makes on the court's a good one. Even though he says he makes mistakes, we don't even know when they are.
And on a personal note, Coach Mack, as well as most of the coaches on campus, they make themselves extremely available to me before and after games, and it's just great to have that support from everyone over in Rice. And Coach Mack is one of the best at making sure I have the information I need. Another thing Coach Mack has mentioned in the past to me is that Chad Nelson, is he playing with you this year?
Actually, Chad's gonna be one of our coaches this year, so it should be real exciting to see Chad on the sidelines with a suit and tie on instead of out there draining some threes and getting all excited for us.
Yeah, because Coach has mentioned in the past that Chad, he's always had a hard work ethic, and that he has a talent. It's just his body did not keep up. Can you talk to me? When you came in, Chad was one of the leaders. He was one of those proven players, but his body just didn't hold up. Can you talk to me about him? You know more about him and his skills and his injuries than I do, so can you talk to me about Chad?
Yeah, it was real disappointing to hear when Chad was not going to play for us this year, because he was going to be one of our leaders without a doubt, because he's a real vocal guy, and he can really talk to his teammates and know what's going on, and his knee just won't let him do it anymore. So kind of puts everything in perspective, when you never know when you're going to be done.
And then you also have returning assistant coaches of Mike Fitzner and Rico. Can you talk to me about your entire assistant coaching staff?
Yeah, we got Coach Burkett and Coach Fitzner. They're back from last year. We lost Coach Sather, but we gained Coach Brown. So I feel that we have some of the best assistant coaches along with head coach in the country, and so we're the best around.
That's good to hear. I believe that's most of what we wanted to talk about Talk to me about the freshman recruits. I know you don't have. Do you have just one true recruit, or talk to me about some of your new players? I know you had some walk-ons too.
Yeah.
Talk to me about some of your new players.
Actually, we only have one freshman this year. His name's Justin Sandy. He's going to play point guard for us. He's come in and showed some real exciting things for us in the preseason conditioning, and looks to be a big impact this year. And then some of you guys might know Kevin Berger he's here on campus, one of the great guys on campus. He gets along with everybody, and he's a real good basketball player as well. Hopefully he'll see some time this year.
Okay.
And then Randy Korth, he's been on campus for a couple years too. A lot of people know him, and a new guy, Adonis.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Adonis, is he from Alaska? Is that right?
Yeah, he's
Do
from
I have that
Alaska.
right?
And
okay.
They've made the tryouts, so they're going to be great help for us in practice, and hopefully they'll get some time too.
That's good for them. One other person that I actually want to talk to you, Brian. What is Brian's last name?
Brian Hoffman?
Yeah, talk to me about Brian Hoffman, because Coach Mack has talked to me about him, how his work ethic has got to be incredible, because it seems like he just mentions him pretty often. I mean, Brian really doesn't play much, but it seems like, you know, everyone has great things to say about Brian Hoffman.
Yeah, Brian has a tremendous work ethic. Whenever I'm up in the gym, I always see Brian up in the gym, either before or after me, or comes in during, and he's always shooting, and in the weight room he's always working real hard, and he just has a tremendous work ethic, and hopefully he'll make a big impact for us this year too.
Okay.
We feel a lot of players can help us out this year, and we're going to play a lot of players as well, so get minutes for a lot of people.
I know practice doesn't officially start till tomorrow, but you've been practicing together as a team down in the rec for a while on individual bases, and you have your returning starters from last year. Who do you feel the top 5 are going to be this year?
Oh, it's so hard to tell so early in the season. I have no idea. I mean, there's going to be some great battles in practice. Sometimes our practices are going to be harder than our games, because everybody's just improved so much from last year. Even it's really hard to tell.
Okay. That's all we have. I'd like to thank Henderson for joining us. Thank you, Eric. We want to get everyone excited for the game, for the season kickoff tomorrow with the first public practice. So we're going to show you some highlights from last season. I whipped this video up last night, and it shows some of the slam dunk contest from last year, and then on to some of the great highlights throughout the year. So this video is by Prodigy, and the name of it is Fuel My Fire. The flies are just killing us in here. And it's from their Fat of the Land CD. I'm going to get this queued up for you guys, and I hope you enjoy the 1997 video for highlights. And thank you, Eric, for joining us.
Thanks,
and
Jimmy.
let's take a look at this video by Prodigy.
turn, we're wearing new shirts, and I think Mom bought them a little big.
Over South O'Brien, they're really just too tough inside. Allison Kruger with 21 points to lead South O'Brien, but Galen really fired up there today.
Hey, you're never going to shut her down completely. And it looks like a new paint job in the KP gym there.
Yeah, all the gyms well lit tonight. It must be that nice weather translating from the outside back into the inside. Well, now we'll go into Nebraska, where the Wayne State men got back into the rankings this week at number 24.
The Wildcats' only 2 losses are to ranked teams and are 29-2 at home in the last 3 seasons. At home tonight against Rockford, Illinois. And the Cat fans fired up for a big night of fun over there. Tyler Johnson, he's a good scorer, does it there, lays it in off with the left hand for 2. And then Eric Henderson gets loose for the dunk. Everybody for Wayne State having a good time tonight, including former Sioux Center standout Matt Van Voorst, the big guy. Drops in 2 more. And again, Tyler Johnson with the dunk. And Wayne State frolics tonight at Rice Auditorium, 110-82.
Now we head to Wayne, where the Lady Blue Devils.
And in fact, there has been for 3 years. They just haven't gotten much credit for it, and maybe that'll change this year. Yeah, it just might be a couple weeks ahead. Just how good is Wayne State's men's program? Well, despite back-to-back 20-win seasons, the NCAA postseason selection committee said not good enough. That was over the past 2 years. And now, 10 games into the 98 season, the Wildcats are making an even better case for some clout. Wayne State is off to an 8-2 start, and today ranked 18th nationally among Division II teams. That's the highest of any Wildcat hoops team ever. As for how good Wayne State is, well, the Cats have blistered the North Central Conference through the preseason, taking 5 of 6, and, well, that's a pretty good measuring stick. Greg McDermott's team also has strung together 5 wins in a row. They'll play Saturday before taking a holiday break. Wayne State jumps 6 spots today in the poll up to 18th. They were 24th a week ago, and we'll hear from Coach McDermott coming up tonight at 10. Here's the list at the poll. You'll see some North Central Conference action. South Dakota State is 4th nationally today. The Jacks, of course, come to Alley Gym. Morningside hosting South Dakota State on the opening weekend of the North Central Conference. Wayne State at 8-2. South Dakota jumps into the poll this week. The Yotes are 8-1. They also open up conference play this weekend. Well, an upset. Number 18 national listing in Division II. Greg McDermott's team has rolled off 8 wins in 10 games. That thanks to a blistering 47% shooting from the field.
Being ranked 18th in the country is nice. It's a pat on the back for our program. It's a sign of respect, I think, nationally for our program. And all the hard work that's gone in the past by my former players and my former staff and my current staff and current players, they deserve this, so I'm happy for them.
Wayne State's 5-1 against North Central Conference teams this year, and that is a pretty good measuring stick. A couple of scores to give you tonight. Dakota Valley in a boys game. Lorenz Marathon.
My 3rd show this semester. Brad, you had a great game against Rockhurst. Can we talk about that a little bit? How did it turn out?
It was a very intense game, very physical. It kind of reminded me of the South Dakota State game that we lost up there. They're a very disciplined team, have 2 really good players, and they come at you, and we had to be tough. We were actually down, I think, 6 at half, and we were down 9 in the second half. It was a very physical game, and a game we needed, I think, really, because haven't had a real tough game since probably November, where it came down to the wire, and we had to prove that we could win a close one down the stretch.
I know your roommate and good friend Eric Henderson had a great defensive game yesterday. Talk to me about Eric and his performance this year, and especially Saturday.
Eric switched over to the 4 position this year from the 5, and it's kind of been a learning experience for him. And Rockhurst's center averages 20 points a game, and he had a big first half, and we kind of wanted to put someone a little quicker on him, someone who would get in front of him. We front the post, so wanted to put someone a little quicker who wasn't scared to mix it up with him, and that's what Eric does best, and he did a nice job on him.
Now Tyler Johnson had another great game. He had I believe it was a game high of 21. He had 21 points for the Wildcats. He also had 7 assists. He's been doing a great job in his senior year. Talk to me about Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler has really matured over even when I was a freshman, he was a sophomore here. He's really matured, and he's playing real under control this year. And I mean, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be getting all these open shots. And and the big guys are doing a great job too down low. But Tyler's playing really smart. His turnovers are down. He's shooting smart shots, and what can you say? I think he deserves to be an All-American this year.
To me, exactly. To me, I don't see a lot of drop-off with his slight knee injury. When you're in practice, is there drop-off? You know him better than I do.
I don't think it's affecting him at all. That just shows what kind of athlete Tyler is he's wearing this big knee brace, and it's really not affecting him at all. And I don't think it's affecting him, and he's playing fine.
And everyone's excited to see Jason Diaz doing great this year. He's been lighting it up lately. I know he did great on the Florida trip down there. He struggled a little bit early in the season, but he's been doing great now. Talk to me about Jason.
Jason has been, I think he might be our leading scorer since we've came back from Christmas. He's shooting the ball just great. I think he told me he did a lot of extra shooting back home when he was back in Wisconsin, and it's really paying off for him right now. And people, we got Tyler driving, and if I'm hitting and Jason's hitting, it's gonna be tough for opponents to defend all of that, at the same time, along with the big guys down low. So with Jason hitting his threes, which he's been doing an excellent job of that, it just adds another dimension to our team.
When you came here, the Wildcats were just starting to get over that hump and to the point where they've been successful the last couple of years. Did you expect to be doing so well in your third season, your second year playing?
Well, yeah. Coming in, it was a program kind of on the rise. They just suffered I think it was a losing season, about 12 and 15 max second year here. And, we had 2 20-win seasons the last 2 years, but, them last 2 years were kind of big runs at the end of the year. We kind of struggled early on, and so it was a point of emphasis this year to really work hard in the summer, of course, and the preseason. We did a lot more preseason conditioning this year, so we'd be in the best shapes at the beginning of the year in November and December. Because, like I said, the last couple of years, I think we were 10-5 last year at this point, and we were 14-2. So we just we need to have that run at the end of the year too. We're on an 11-game winning streak. We need to keep it going. But that's I'd say the biggest reason now we're 14-2 is just because of the extra conditioning and a lot of mental focus by everybody.
Now tomorrow you have that huge game against Northern State. We don't know what the rankings are this week, but as of last week, the Wildcats were 7th and Northern State were 6th, and so it's going to be a huge game no matter what. Did Northern State win their games last week?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Are you pretty excited for the game tomorrow?
Most definitely, and I hope everybody comes out because I don't know if many people around here are going to get to, you don't get to see this type of basketball. I don't know if many people understand what Division II basketball is all about because everyone watches Division I. And that's the ESPN's got Big Monday, all their stuff, Division II basketball is just, I don't know, it's just as good as Division I think. You might not have the athletes, but we play, it's more, more pure level, I'd say. But it's going to be huge, and I hope everybody comes out. Northern's a fine team. They got all the tradition, and we just hope to take it to them because we're not going to go down easy on our home court. And assistant coach Paul Sather's assistant up at Northern. He was our assistant last year. He's up there, so we want to get him too.
How much do you know about Northern? Who are some of their big scorers?
They lost their All-American guard last year, Ryan Miller. His brother's actually the freshman at Florida this year, Mike Miller. They lost him and their 2 4 and 5 guys. And their 3-man, Kyle Johnson's, he's coming off an ACL injury from last year. He's one of the best athletes I think I've seen around. And Dan Fisher's the 2-man. He's a great three-point shooter. You just can't leave him. Scott Hansen is their point guard. I know they're really young down low, so hopefully Van Voorst and Hertz will be able to take it at them.
Now Van Voorst and Hertz and Herlitzky, they've been doing great all year. They've been doing great rebounding. They've out-rebounded Southwest State. They've just been doing a great job. They seem to be almost interchangeable.
Most definitely. They really worked hard over summer. You can just tell by looking at them. They're much bigger. They worked hard, and it's added another dimension to our team. Just being able to get them down low and have a scoring threat down low it's really big for us.
Kevin Swain was on our show last week, and he saw some highlights from you because he's been gone for a semester, and he couldn't believe how much bigger you got. So I know that you guys have worked really hard in the weight room all the time. What is your typical workouts like during the off season and then during the regular season?
Coach Mack and the assistant coaches give us the program we're supposed to do, and consists of we have to get on the track. I think it's twice a week, run 1.5 miles, and do a bunch of sprints. And then we also lift 4 times a week, and they have the program out for us. And then, like for basketball skill-wise, like the guards will have ball handling and shooting type drills, and the postmen will have post move type stuff and rebounding. And so we do that 4 times a week as well. And if you stick to it, follow what the coaches say. They're not there to tell you have to do it. It's up to you to do it. And it's your dedication. You got to do it, and that's what it consists of.
So it definitely shows how hard working you guys are, and it's good to see everything pay off for you. Best of luck tomorrow. Thanks for joining us on the show. Good luck to you and all the other Wildcats. We have some quick stats for you from this weekend. As you see, the Wildcats outscored Rockhurst 80-73 in another close game. There's always close games between these two teams down at Kansas City. The Wildcats are now 14-2. Brad Jones had 17 points, and Tyler Johnson had 21 points and 7 assists. Jason Diaz, again, doing great from three-point land. He had 4 for 8 for 14 points. Nathan Mulder had 11 points off the bench. So a good all-round job by the Wildcats, and Rockhurst Winkley was their big scorer with 15 points and 10 rebounds. On to an earlier action with the women.
That makes sense.
It does.
Wayne State will be in the Northern Sun next year. This year they're still an independent, yet playing for the postseason, just as Northern State was doing tonight, looking to stay in the conference race. I know I've lost you, but the highlights will take care of the story. Just because tonight's Wayne State Northern State game wasn't part of the conference schedule, it didn't mean that it wasn't a big game and that there was plenty on the line. Nationally 7th ranked Wayne State and 6th ranked Northern State colliding at Rice Auditorium tonight. Almost 1,700 filled the place. They were ready for everything, including a head-on collision. Tyler Johnson avoided the collision there. The slash and the score. Matt Van Voorst, the former Sioux Center prep, had 11 tonight. One of 4 Wayne State players in double figures. A 12-2 run to get this game started, and the Cats were in great shape. Sophomore Brad Johnson of Cedar Rapids, a big night. That's a good for a 3. Speaking of outside game, Northern has a good one. The Wolves tonight, 11 of 20 from behind the arc, but they were down 9 at the half and then never got closer than 4. But Brad Jones was huge. 5 of 9 from three-point land. That one was behind the NBA stripe. 21 for Jones. Tyler Johnson ended with 17. And the Wildcats win their 12th in a row to tie a school record. Also a 12-game winning streak at home. 7th-ranked Wayne State beating Northern State 78-70 to move to 15-2 on the college season. Some other college.
A little bit of competition there tonight.
A great crowd over there at Wayne State tonight. If I ever don't come back for a 10 o'clock newscast, it's because I stayed over and had some fun with the kids for Wayne State. Pulled into the parking lot tonight, and you could hear the crowd outside. It was just a great atmosphere over there. In Division II, the regional rankings may be more accurate than the national rankings in telling you how good a team is. Wayne State is 7th nationally, but 1st in the regionals, which determine who gets into the postseason. The Cats' opponent tonight, Northern State of Aberdeen, South Dakota, is 6th nationally, but only 8th in the region. So the folks around here are looking for Wayne State to make it 12 wins in a row. And a huge crowd over at Rice Auditorium tonight, standing room only. And Mom and Dad, here's your tuition dollars at work. You go, big boy. You like that. Wayne State led almost from start to finish tonight. Tyler Johnson just too quick for the Wolves. Wayne State up quickly, 12-2. Then Jason Diaz will dish to Matt Van Voorst, and the former Sioux Center big guy gets an easy 2 down in the paint. Wayne State led by 10 several times in the first half, but they couldn't shake Northern. Johnson with another strong drive to the hole. The Wildcats led it 39-30 at the half. Brad Jones with a long three-pointer. That goes, and number 7 Wayne State beats number 6 Northern tonight 78-70. That's their 12th win in a row. The Cats improved their record now to 15-2. Other scores tonight for men's basketball.
They're tying 13th straight game, which is a new single-season record for consecutive wins, improving the Wildcats' record to 16-2. And let's check out the activities from this afternoon at Rice Auditorium. Wayne State in complete control. Kevin Berger with a strong layup. That started a 14-0 run. They led 45-27 at the half. And Brian Hoffman, the freshman, and Scott Hansen on the alley-oop. Then the Hansen with the nifty passing for the Wildcats. This one goes to Mick Collins, who cuts to the basket and scores. Wayne State wins it 83-50. The Wildcats now 16-2 on the season.
Though it wasn't one of our goals, it's nice to have that on our record and our resume now, and people can look back at the 98-99 team and say that they won 13 in a row. And hopefully we can keep winning and add to that streak.
Other State men had lost a basketball game at home. In fact, the Wildcats had rolled off 15 in a row headed into tonight's rematch with Briarcliff. Oh, and by the way, the Chargers were the last team to hand the Cats a home court loss. Happened last January. A quick start was all Wayne State was hoping for at the get-go tonight, and boy, oh boy, would they ever get it. Briarcliff with the game faces on, but it was the A game from Jason Diaz, or the D game maybe. That would be the dunk game. He had 16. The Cats came out in a blaze with 4 players in double figures. Brad Jones had a dozen, including that three-pointer, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Not if you're charging with the Chargers. Josh Kennedy had 4 points, including that basket. Anton Hubert, 11. Ben Herrig led the Chargers, surprisingly, with 14 tonight, but it was mostly Wayne State. They led by 20 in the first half and never trailed by fewer than double digits. And when you get that kind of a shot, you're probably going to win by double digits. 78-59, the final Briarcliff 7-game win streak ends. Wayne State has now won 16 in a row on the happy home wood. Well, Coach Greg McDermott's team entered tonight's matchup ranked number 1. Yes, number 1 in this week's NCAA North Central Region rankings. Despite a pair of road losses last week, Wayne State actually improved in its regional standing today. Wayne State still, hopefully, with a chance to host an NCAA postseason tournament. Meanwhile, that region poll today had South Dakota still second, despite their loss at home over the weekend as well. College finals locally.
Election Sunday for NCAA Division II basketball teams. Wayne State, South Dakota, and Morningside all hoping to get in or get their dance card punched. When the tournament selection show hit the air, only 2/3, though, were happy.
Head to our brackets and find out as we take a look at the top 48 heading for the Division II Men's Championship. We start on the North Central. This will be hosted by Wayne State out of Nebraska.
It was the news Wayne State College had waited 3 years for, an invitation to the NCAA basketball tournament. The Wildcats will host this year's North Central Regional Tournament.
It's a great feeling, and you hear coaches all the time talk about the journey that's so important, and for us I think that really takes a lot of meeting because it really has been a 3-year journey.
Wayne State earned the top seed thanks to a 23-4 regular season. Metropolitan State of Colorado is the 2nd seed and also receives a first-round tournament bye. Also included in the 6-team tournament field, the University of Nebraska, Kearney, and Northern State. South Dakota earned the tournament's 3rd seed and will face Mesa State in a first-round game on Thursday night.
You don't know what to feel. You're obviously feeling happy, but just to get in the tournament for the first thing and then to host it, you don't know what to feel, and I don't know, as soon as it sets in, I'll probably figure it out.
I don't really know what to feel right now because, just all the emotions are just running wild. So, all I know is just it's a great feeling to know that we're in it and we're hosting it, and, we're sitting in a pretty good spot right now.
The opposite is true for Morningside. The Mustangs are on the outside looking in. Despite winning 8 of its last 9 games, including last night's come-from-behind victory at South Dakota State, Morningside's 2nd-place finish in the North Central and 19-9 season wasn't good enough.
We handled adversity real well and believe that we put ourselves in a pretty good position to make it to the tournament, but, we don't have really any control of the selection committee, so we just have to take this lump and move on.
At one point we were 3-4 in the conference, and after that we just turned it on, and after that we were playing great ball, and if we could have started that a little bit earlier, who knows what would have happened. But like I said, we proved a lot to ourselves, and we got to feel good about the season the way we ended.
In fact, there were 11 teams from across the country with 20 or more wins that were left out of the tournament.
We're really excited to have it here, and I think the people in our region, the teams that'll come, will see that we've got some of the greatest fans in Division II basketball.
South Dakota tips off this year's region tournament at 6 o'clock on Thursday night against Mesa State. Northern State and Nebraska Kearney follow at 8. Wayne State will play its first game at 8 o'clock Friday night. Tim Seaman, News 9 Sports.
Tickets for this weekend's tournament are on sale at the Wayne State business office. Wanting badly for his first year as head coach of the Iowa State.
6 tournament head coaches were handing out compliments to each other, just like a proud papa hands out cigars, left and right. It was all talk and no action tonight, but the tournament tips off at 6 tomorrow night, the opening game, South Dakota on the court. The Yotes are the lone North Central entry. Morningside was left out.
2 years ago, we won 21 games, and we're 21-7, and felt like we had a deserving team that didn't make it. So I understand the disappointment that happens, and I really feel like any time you can increase the number of teams, then I'd be all for it.
We're the lone representative of North Central. I know that's been an issue in our conference, but it's a very tough job, and you do those regional rankings. It's very difficult, and we're happy to be here.
Expansion probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Meanwhile, the top-seeded Wildcats watch tomorrow night. They'll put a 38-2 home court record over the past 3 seasons on the line.
My 2 seniors have 50 wins and only 5 losses at home in their 4-year career.
So one of the things when I took the job at Wayne State was try to instill in the people in our program a belief that you're not going to lose at home. And I think that's where you start with a program, and our guys have really bought into that.
And we'll keep you posted with those highlights. South Dakota tomorrow night at 6.
The floor at the NCAA Division II Men's Regional in Wayne tomorrow night. All 6 head coaches from the regional qualifiers held a press conference at the Marina Inn in South Sioux City tonight. The Coyotes will take on Mesa State of Colorado at 6 on Thursday. USD 22-5 and the 3rd seed in the tournament. Mesa State is the lowest seed at 21-8, but if you've gotten this far, you can certainly play with the big boys.
And we played very well offensively all year, and then when they started improving defensively, then we started to have a chance. And we were fortunate in winning a lot of close games that happened in our conference this year, and we made some big shots at some key times and stuff, and we're just excited. I think we can come in here and play well, and our kids are going to have a great effort to do that.
They have matchup problems because they shoot the ball so well from the perimeter, and yet they do have the big kid that can score inside, so that always creates matchup problems for a team. You know, we just want to try and concentrate on doing what we do. And
now the USD and Mesa State game will start at 6 on Thursday. Wayne State is the top seed. They got a bye in round 1. They will play on Friday at 8 o'clock.
The annual event also features South Dakota, Wayne State, and Minnesota Morris. The Mustangs take the court with a roster filled with newcomers. 2 starters returned from last year's 19 and 19, but Morningside could tip off with 2 freshmen in the lineup, including that guy, Justin Van Matron.
It's kind of nervous being a freshman, not knowing what it's like, but we got a lot of seniors who have really shown us what it's like in practice. The intensity is much different than high school, all over the floor, especially on defense. The intensity in defense is much more.
Things are gelling a lot faster than what they were last year. I mean, at this point last year, we were still skeptical of, how our season was going to be and how quicker we was going to click as a team. But this year, I think with the younger guys allowing us to click even more quicker than what we did last year.
Tell you what, fans can't ask for any better season opening action. This one will be a classic. Defending North Central Conference champ South Dakota opens as the preseason pick to win the North Central again. Coach Dave Boots returns 4 starters off of last year's 23-6 team, including last year's leading scorer, and that guy, Nathan Blesson.
The opener against Wayne State's a great test for us right off the bat. They're a great team, great program. They're very, very good coaching staff, and it'll be a good test for us to see where we're at with our basketball team and see what we need to prove on right off the bat.
You always like to win your first one. You never like to start out 0-1. So, but that's we know where this team is at, and I think as the year goes on, we can get better. So I think it's good to get right out there and play someone of their quality and have. And, they're going to certainly expose some things that we have that we haven't been very good at so far in the first 5 weeks in practice.
And Boots' team will face Wayne State in tomorrow night's 6 o'clock game. The Cats are also loaded with talent. Wayne State returns 3 starters off a team that hosted last year's NCAA Regional. Finding a replacement for Tyler Johnson will be tough, but Greg McDermott likes his squad.
Anytime you have that kind of experience coming back, you have a chance to be pretty good. I think games are won and lost with experience, particularly on the road. And we feel like our leadership in our junior and senior class is as good as it's ever been.
It should be a good measuring stick for us. Start off with USD. They're a very good team. They have lots of players back. But it should be an exciting game and a fun game.
It should be a good, real tough game and tell us where we are right away from the start. And USD's got a lot of guys back and be a good test for us. And hopefully we can play well as a team and come out on top on it.
Minnesota Morris rounds out that 4-team classic. Games are set for 6 and 8 o'clock both tomorrow and Saturday nights at Alley Gym on the Morningside campus. Well, Elk Point Jefferson also.
Wayne State men's team, they've reeled off 5 straight wins.
And the Wildcats had their paws full tonight with Nebraska Omaha, who came into Wayne with an 8-0 record. And to the highlights we go, where John Dolliver of Wayne and Mike Simons were the highest recruited players out of Nebraska. But Rory Williams says, hey, I should have been recruited too. Here's 2 more for him. But put on the eggs, Mama, because Daddy's bringing home the bacon. Bob Wetstein with the jam. Cuts the lead of Wayne's to 3. Rory Williams, though, would play great. He throws up the knuckleball in the lane, 36-33 Cats. Simons would keep UNO close. Hits the pull-up J. That's tough. He had 19 on the night, but Wayne would be tough, too, tonight. They get 2 more by Matt Van Voorst and go on to win 79-70. Wayne is now 6-2.
Well, it's shaping up to be...
Winning 10 straight.
Briarcliff needing a big game from senior Matt Holmes, only got 4 points. Holmes had to leave the game in the second half after falling hard to the court. Wildcats used their inside strength. Josh Kennedy with the block, but Matt Van Voorst puts it back. The Sioux Center native had 14 points. Mark Martin stepped up big for Briarcliff as they closed to within 3 points before half. Martin led all scorers with 20 points. Wayne State with great outside shooting as well. Brad Jones, he can stroke it from just about anywhere on the court. 3 points, or 3 there, and he had 15 on the night. John Dolliver, the man of the evening, gets the two-hand dunk. He finished with 17 points and surpassed the 1,000-point mark in his career. Wayne State pulls away early in the second half, and they win 89-74. They're now 14-6 on the year, while Briarcliff falls to 20-6. Tim, that'll...
Court was just too much. Matt Van Dorst will finish off the hoop, and Briarcliff 89-74. To the Lewis and Clark Conference.
Team of the city and the state and their region, but they're a team to watch throughout the Northern Sun Conference.
Wayne State College is one of 3 new members in the Northern Sun Conference. And a highly successful men's basketball program has an athletic department excited about league success. Head coach Greg McDermott knows that the exposure presented in the Northern Sun Conference will help an already nationally recognized program.
We have a lot of players from Iowa and Wisconsin on our team, and MSC I know is strong in those areas. But just the fact that we're in the Northern Sun Conference has made it so much better for us. I think that the conference is continuing to get better and better. We've got great relationships with the people in the league, dating back to 10 or 11 years ago. So we're excited to be a part of this league.
I think it helps not only Wayne State men's basketball, but it helps our whole athletic department as a whole. It gives us a chance to compete, not just for the regional tournament or regional experience, but for a conference championship. It's just a great experience.
Last year and the past years, every game meant so much to us. It was almost like the tournament chance was on the line. Now this year, being able to compete in the conference gives us another option, another way to get to the NCAA regional tournament. And there's more things to shoot for. You know, conference championship means a lot, and it's kind of fun to look at the standings as the season goes on. It gives you something to shoot for.
This year when we entered the Northern Sun Conference, it's really a great experience for all the players and coaches at Wayne State College, because it not only gives us an opportunity to play in a conference tournament, but it gives recognition to some of the players that, like when we were an independent, we didn't get really many like Conference Player of the Year awards or first team all-conference. It just gives recognition to players that deserve it.
A year ago, Wayne State had a chance to host an NCAA regional playoff tournament. This year, they hope for even more success, and junior guard Brad Jones talks more about the opportunity for more exposure.
I think last year, like, not many people know much about Wayne State College. It's kind of a small town in the little corner of Nebraska, but kind of put us on the map a little bit, not only just because of our basketball. It meant a lot to the people around there. And
yeah, the success of Wayne State College basketball team is really, the whole town is really all part of the basketball program. It's just all full of excitement all over town.
The excitement began a year ago when Wayne State hosted that NCAA regional. However, the season ended with a bad taste in their mouths. They were upset in the second round by Nebraska Kearney. And this year, the team hopes to build on that. Four-year starter John Dolliver talks about taking the next step.
Hosting the regional tournament was a great experience. Playing in the regional tournament is our goal, and last year we were fortunate enough to host it. I think that's an incentive for every team when you start the season, is to play in the regional tournament. Last year we were lucky enough to host it, and hopefully this year we can do the same.
For us to get into the NCAA tournament was a big deal after coming off 2 20-win seasons and not getting in. So our goal was to make it to the NCAA tournament. The fact that we were #1 in the region most of the season and had the opportunity to host it was just it was a tremendous event, not only for our basketball program, but for our campus community and for the Wayne community in Northeast Nebraska itself, to have an NCAA regional championship held in Wayne, Nebraska is something that I don't think many people thought was possible. So it was really a dream come true for a lot of our players to have that opportunity. Unfortunately, the outcome of the game didn't go the way we wanted, but it was a tremendous event, and we proved that we could do it in a small community and host an event like that and do it in a first-class manner, and we hope somewhere down the road we have the opportunity to do it again.
If the early start is any indication, Wayne State has fit in the Northern Sun, winning 6 of their first 7 conference games and 11 of their first 14 overall. They certainly seem poised for another run in the NCAAs.
And Wayne State College certainly is a team to watch. It's fun. The whole community gets out and watches the game. And talk about a program that's solid. Greg McDermott, their head coach, Anthony, just notched his 100th career victory. He's also the athletic director. So this is certainly a coach and a team in the right direction.
And it's one gym that if you talk to other coaches around the league, it's the one that they dread visiting the most. We'll keep our eyes on that. They suffered through a somewhat surprising loss at Winona earlier this year, but they still have a shot to win that conference championship. And if you want to talk about a team with some balance, Brad Jones was named the player of the week for his performance, partly in that 100th win. He had a career-high 32 points, but this team has 4 of the top 8 assist men in the NSIC.
There is balance top to bottom, and it is a fun team to watch.
We'll be back with more on the Northern Sun Showcase. We'll talk more men's basketball, including a look at those Winona women host of Winona State as we move to college women's situation where there were any one of 4 teams that just about everybody felt capable of winning a championship when they reached St. Paul.
The hot team was Minnesota Duluth, but certainly you had to look at Winona State, who had the great beginning and had to fight a little bit to hang on to that share of the conference title. It was good basketball all the way as UMD took on Winona State. Josh Quigley, certainly he's got it going. How about Lance Meineke? Gets it going first, though, for Winona with the 2-pointer. And Josh Quigley, though, who's been the player of the year, watch him move. Go in, lay up, drop it in. Quigley on fire, and so was UMD. Quigley again, a jumper, this time in the lane. He pulls up, drops it down. Bulldogs on a good beginning here. Jamie Carrier for Winona State, though. He can also hit the long shot, and there it goes down for a 3-pointer. Chris Stanley as well says, why not? I'll give it my shot from the outside. The 3 drops for him as well. Jason Linsmeyer from Winona State. He puts it up. Bombs falling from all over the place. It was fun to watch for the folks watching at Concordia in St. Paul. There's another one from 3 as Mark Thompson drains it for the Bulldogs. Lance Meineke again trying to keep his team in it. Drive up, puts it down as it falls for 2. Jason Linsmeyer from Winona State. This time he gives his team a lead at halftime with this 3-pointer. It was 42-38. Warriors had the advantage at halftime. Second half action. Chris Stanley from UMD 3-pointer. Dogs take the lead by 2, and they're feeling good about it. Justin Treptow, turnaround, jumper in the lane, puts it down for 2. That ties the game at 60. Mark Thompson takes a jumper. Not quite a 3, just inside the line, but 2 nonetheless, makes it a 4-point lead for UMD. Josh Quigley, you know he wants to get it done. Watch him go through, drop it in, off the glass, and that gives them a lead 72-67 with 14 seconds to go. Another shot for the Warriors, though. Lance Meineke, a hanging 3-pointer. They take the lead, or rather trail by 2 with 6 seconds to go in the game. Mark Thompson missed the free throws. Here's a 3-point attempt. No good as time expires as UMD hangs on to win 73-30 in a trip to the championship game after they win in the semifinals. Winona State, though, hung tough, but falls just a little short.
Finish in the top 3 of the conference, and then anything could happen in tournament play. And I think we've matured and developed. The learning curve was great this year, but you know, we got to the point now where we're playing a championship game. And you know, besides the young kids I got in my team, I've always got that stalwart player in the middle, Josh Quigley, and he did a tremendous job for us tonight.
Oh, it's an excellent feeling. You know, we've been looking forward to this the whole year. We've wanted to get into this position, and we worked really hard to do it, and now we're here, and it just feels great.
The other semifinal had Coach of the Year Greg McDermott's Wayne State College Wildcats against Southwest State. And it was Brad Jones, the story early. He hits a tough jump shot with a hand in his face to tie the game. Then once again ties it, this time with a 3-ball from the wing. And then this time he will give Wayne State the lead with a jumper off balance. Wayne State leads by 4. Southwest State getting it done with the Coonans. Scott Coonan on the drive and the dunk. He was huge in this game for Southwest State. Chad Coonan drives the baseline, and the powerful move cuts Wayne State's lead down to 6. Wayne opened up a lead as big as 12, but Scott Coonan tries to keep the Mustangs close. This driving layup, 2 of his 34 in the game, cut the lead to 8 just before halftime. It's Jones again who spins. He had 10 of his 12 in the first half, and it's a 10-point lead for Wayne State College at halftime. But in the second half, the Mustangs come out smoking. Chad Coonan scores here. It's the first 9 of the second half for Tim Miles and the Mustangs, and they actually gain the lead for the first time since early in the game when Brad Berger hits a 3-pointer. It's a 1-point lead for the Mustangs. Nathan Mulder hits a 3 on the other end, and then it's Jones with icing on the cake, the jam. He finished with 20. Wayne State wins it 84-72. Wayne State shot 48% of the game, but more importantly, turned the ball over only 9 times compared to 19 by the Mustangs, who were led by Scott Coonan's 34. They got 11 from Chad Coonan in the game as well. But Wayne State excited about a trip to the conference finals.
Oh, we feel really good right now. Southwest State, what can you say about them? They're really a great team, very physical style of play. We're excited to be here. You know, we're co-champs in the regular season, and this is where we want to be. You know, we feel like we probably got a spot in the regional tournament already, but we want to go in with, I think, a 13-game winning streak is what we have right now. We want to go out with the win, and it should be exciting.
The final regular season standings, Wayne State and Winona State shared the title, but now Wayne would get a chance to play against Duluth for the automatic bid to the postseason and the conference championship in the conference's first postseason tournament. Some of the individual statistical leaders, Josh Quigley improved on his Player of the Year season from a year ago, led the league in scoring, led the league in rebounding. See Kyle Schlock and Eric Henderson among the leaders shooting-wise. The all-conference team led by the MVP, Josh Quigley, 22.8 points a game, 10.6 rebounds a game. He was 3rd in blocks, 3rd in field goal percentage. He repeats as the conference's Player of the Year. The newcomer of the year was Sundance Wicks from Northern State. The freshman from Wyoming averaged 7 points and 5 rebounds a game. The coach of the year, Greg McDermott from Wayne State College, as he helped the Wildcats reach the conference finals. We'll have highlights from that conference championship next on the Showcase. The conference championship game set. Duluth, the great story because of their horrific start and the rebound throughout the second half. And Wayne State really the team to beat talent-wise.
Wayne State the better team, but UMD knew if they win this game, they get a chance to go on to the tournament. Wayne would have probably got there anyway, made things very thrilling for the finale at the Gangelhoff Center.
Wayne State College, the co-champions during the regular season, a chance to earn the automatic bid and a chance to avenge last year's loss in the playoffs. And early on, Brad Jones gets him started with a jumper from the baseline. He was red hot in the first half. Eric Henderson down the lane, scores. Wayne State leads by 2 early. John Dolliver, pull-up jump shot from the near wing. Wayne State by 4. Josh Quigley for Duluth inside. The Player of the Year gives them their last lead of the game. Unfortunately, it came at 9-8. Mark Thompson, a great pass inside to Josh Quigley. The outside shooting of Wayne State was too much, particularly late in the first half. They hit 7 of 13 three-pointers in the first half as a team. This one from Jones gave them a 17-point lead. Second half, the Bulldogs try to rally, but no such luck. Wayne State continues to shoot well from the outside. For the game, Wayne State hit 8 of 20 three-pointers, but as I mentioned, the big key, the 7 of 13 in the first half. Quigley here scores inside, gets the basket and the foul. Duluth gets within 8, but that's as close as they would get in the second half. Rory Williams closes it out for the Wildcats. They win it by a final of 72-60. Jones had 15, Mulder a dozen, Williams a dozen, Henderson a dozen, plus 15 rebounds. Wayne State advances, and they talk about a conference championship.
Yeah, it was a great win for our program. This ties our school record for the most wins this season. And after we lost Tyler Johnson and Jason Diaz last year, I don't think anybody thought we could do it. We ran into a tough Duluth team this year with Josh Quigley, obviously the best player in the league without a doubt. It was just a great win for our program.
Your first year in the league, too. Congratulations there.
Thanks. Yeah, we wanted to come in and prove a point right away, and I think we did that.
Oh, we have such great support from all our fans from Wayne. It means so much to them. This is just a big deal, being the conference champs, regular season, now the tournament. We have such great support, and people should come out to Rice Auditorium and see what it's like there.
That's been the key to our success all year, Mike, is the ability to have a lot of people scored
and defense has got it done for us. The first 2 games with Duluth, we didn't defend them, and I thought tonight we did.
You get the automatic bid now. What does this mean now for Wayne the rest of the way out?
Well, we've had several goals at the start of the season. One was to win the regular season championship. One was to win this tournament. One was to get back to the regional tournament. We were there last year. We hosted it. We felt like we let a game get away. And it's been our goal all year to get back to that game, but now we're going to have that opportunity this weekend.
Here's a look at how the final brackets came out in the NSIC. Wayne State wins the title over Duluth. Last year they hosted the regional. This year they had to go to Denver as the 3 seed to try and take on the defending national champion runner-ups in Metro State.
And in Denver, it was a start for Brad Manley. John Dolliver drops it down for Wayne State. They're hanging in this game, playing well. Underneath now to Nathan Mulder, 6'6" guard forward. Look at him make the nice nifty move, drop it in for Wayne. And here's Rory Williams to A. Henderson to Nathan Mulder. 90-80. They defeat St. Cloud in the opening game, and here are the players after the game.
I guess it takes me a whole half to get relaxed. You know, when the big shot's there, I want to take it, and luckily Coach has enough confidence in me that he'll run some plays for me to get me an open 3.
You know, St. Cloud's a great team, and we couldn't get away from them the first half, and I think finally our defense wore into them a little the second half. We had a nice stretch, and we were getting to the free throw line, and they were shooting jump shots, and you can usually win basketball games if you can do that.
John Dolliver led with 22 points, but look at Eric Henderson, 18 points, 20 boards. Nathan Mulder also chipped in 19. And with the win, it's on to round 2 to take on South Dakota, ranked 13th in the nation. And there's Eric Henderson moving it into Dolliver. Drops it in, the long 3-pointer. It's good for Wayne. There's another 3-pointer by Dolliver, dropping. Brad Jones, he hit him in the championship game for the conference. This time on the runner, he hits a 2-pointer. Brad Manley with the hairstyle working and the outside shot going as well. They go on to win 86-83.
I knew coming in the game it was going to be a battle down low, and once you get into tournament play, anything goes. It's going to get a lot more physical than during the regular season.
With the win, Wayne advances.
But unfortunately, Metro State eliminated them in the regional championship, 84-72, despite 19 points and 12 boards from Eric Henderson. Wayne State's season comes to an end a game earlier than they would have liked. For Mike Woodley, I'm Anthony LaPanta. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you on March 28th.
Basketball, Raines. I tell you what, the 30-year-old is still smiling, and with a talent-filled roster, no reason that he shouldn't be. Burkett's promotion from assistant to head man was made possible when 60-year head coach Greg McDermott resigned to become head coach at North Dakota State University. Smiles or not? Burkett says ending his days on the bench with McDermott wasn't necessarily an easy call to make.
It was difficult just because of me and Coach McDermott's personal relationship. I can't put into words what that guy means to me. But at the same time, it's a dream that I've had since I was 8 years old to become a head coach. And I think that over these last 4 years of what we've been able to do, I've had the opportunity to learn from what I consider the best Division II coach in the country. And I think that this is the logical move.
We all want to play the system. We came here for the system that we run, and we want to continue that. Maybe run a gun a little bit more. Coach McDermott kind of likes to slow it down a little bit, but hopefully, that's why, everyone, we were all unanimous on that we wanted Coach Burkett.
As for Coach Burkett, he says he's already working on a matchup against his former boss. Let's wait and see what happens. Well, one of baseball's opponent in South Dakota State. Early on, Austin Hansen here with a nice jumper for the Jacks, looking to steal one at Rice Auditorium. What are you doing? Looks like you need work.